Hello, welcome to Ironclad Wisdom, where we explore timeless principles from Stoicism and other philosophies to help you live a better, more resilient life. Today, we're diving into the cost of anger in Stoicism. Have you ever noticed how anger drains your energy, ruins relationships, and leaves you feeling out of control? In Stoic philosophy, anger is seen as one of the most destructive emotions. It clouds our judgment, robs us of inner peace, and causes unnecessary suffering. In this video, we'll explore why anger isn't worth the price we pay for it, and how Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed we can overcome it. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more insights into Stoicism, mental resilience, and the pursuit of wisdom. Let's get into it. Number 1. Loss of rationality. In Stoicism, one of the central teachings is that reason should govern human actions and decisions. Stoics believe that rational thinking is key to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. However, when emotions such as anger take over, rationality is the first thing to be sacrificed. Anger clouds the mind, making it difficult to think clearly or logically. Instead of responding to situations thoughtfully, individuals react impulsively, often exacerbating the issue. The Stoics argue that when we lose control of our emotions, especially anger, we lose control of our reason, and with it, our ability to act in alignment with virtue. Anger often causes people to make rash decisions that they later regret. For example, in a heated argument, a person might say hurtful things to a friend or partner that they don't truly mean. At the moment, their anger feels justified, but after calming down, they may realize that the words they spoke were not only unnecessary but harmful. This impulsive behavior can strain or even permanently damage relationships. According to Stoicism, had they remained rational and calm, they would have likely handled the situation in a more thoughtful and constructive manner. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." In professional settings, anger can similarly lead to poor decision-making. Take, for instance, a manager who lashes out at an employee for a mistake. In their anger, the manager might impose an unfair punishment or make an irrational decision, such as firing the employee without proper consideration. This impulsive action, driven by anger, might not only demoralize the team, but also result in the loss of a valuable employee. Had the manager remained composed and assessed the situation with reason, they might have realized the mistake was minor or easily fixable, leading to a far more productive and balanced resolution. Long-term consequences of anger-driven decisions can also manifest in personal growth and development. For example, a student who becomes frustrated and angry after failing a test might decide to give up on their studies altogether. The decision is not rational but emotional, and it undermines their potential. If they had remained calm and assessed the failure with a clear mind, they might have identified areas of improvement and used the failure as a learning opportunity. Stoicism encourages individuals to approach life's challenges with rationality and perspective, understanding that temporary setbacks do not warrant emotional overreaction. Lastly, anger can push individuals to act against their principles or values. In moments of anger, people often abandon their commitment to kindness, patience, or honesty, lashing out in ways that contradict their core beliefs. Stoicism teaches that to live a virtuous life, individuals must remain consistent in their values, even in difficult situations. By allowing anger to take over, they lose touch with their principles, creating internal conflict and regret afterward. Remaining rational in challenging situations ensures that individuals act with integrity and wisdom, maintaining alignment with their true selves. In summary, when anger clouds judgment, it leads to impulsive decisions that can have long-lasting negative consequences. Rationality is essential to living a virtuous life, and Stoicism teaches that by maintaining control over our emotions, especially anger, we safeguard our ability to make thoughtful, reasoned choices that align with our values and virtues. Number 2. Damage to relationships. Anger, when left unchecked, often leads to harsh words and aggressive actions that can damage even the strongest of relationships. In the heat of the moment, people tend to say things they don't mean, act impulsively, and lash out, creating rifts that may not easily be healed. Stoics believe that maintaining harmony with others is essential for a peaceful and fulfilling life. When anger takes over, that harmony is shattered, leaving emotional wounds that can take time and effort to mend. Often, the hurtful words spoken in anger are not easily forgotten, lingering in the minds of those affected, which makes it difficult to regain trust and rebuild closeness. For example, consider a situation where a close friend betrays a small confidence. Instead of addressing the issue calmly, someone might react in anger, saying hurtful things about the friend's character or past mistakes. This kind of outburst can severely damage the friendship, making the betrayed friend feel attacked and unappreciated. What might have been a minor issue, easily solved through a calm conversation, becomes a major rift because of anger. The friend may withdraw, feeling that the relationship is no longer safe or supportive. As Stoic philosophers emphasize, treating others with kindness and respect, even when they make mistakes, is vital for preserving relationships. In families, where emotions often run high, anger can lead to lasting damage. Parents who react angrily to their children's mistakes may create a home environment where the child feels fear instead of love. In such cases, children may withdraw emotionally, feeling that they cannot turn to their parents for guidance or support. The Stoics believe that emotional responses like anger should be controlled to create an atmosphere of understanding and patience, especially in close family relationships. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, often emphasized that anger clouds our ability to nurture and guide others, which is especially important within the family unit. In professional settings, anger can also be detrimental. A manager who reacts angrily to a mistake made by an employee may not only harm their working relationship, but also lower morale within the entire team. Instead of fostering a supportive and cooperative environment, the anger instills fear and resentment, reducing productivity and creativity. In Stoicism, professional interactions should be guided by fairness, patience, and rationality. Maintaining respect, even when mistakes are made, is key to building trust and cooperation in the workplace. Anger, on the other hand, breaks down these foundations, leading to miscommunication and division. Furthermore, anger's long-term impact on relationships can be incredibly hard to repair. When relationships are damaged by anger, the emotional scars often linger. Apologies may be offered, but the hurt caused by harsh words or aggressive actions may not easily be forgiven. Over time, repeated outbursts of anger can erode the bond between people, leading to emotional distancing or the breakdown of relationships entirely. The Stoic approach, which advocates for patience, understanding, and emotional control, offers a way to avoid this kind of long-term damage. By managing anger and responding thoughtfully, relationships can be preserved and strengthened rather than torn apart. Number 3. Internal turmoil. In Stoicism, the pursuit of inner peace is central to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Stoics believe that true happiness does not come from external circumstances, but from within. When anger arises, it disrupts this internal balance, creating a state of emotional chaos that runs counter to Stoic teachings. Instead of achieving a state of calm and rationality, anger overwhelms the mind with negative emotions, stress, and anxiety, pulling individuals away from the tranquility they seek. This internal turmoil is one of the most profound costs of anger, as it affects not just momentary reactions, but the overall quality of life. The physical effects of anger are often just as harmful as the emotional ones. When we get angry, our body responds with a surge of adrenaline, increased heart rate, and heightened blood pressure. This physiological response puts the body under stress, making it harder to maintain the Stoic ideal of being calm under pressure. Over time, chronic anger can lead to long-term health problems, including heart disease, anxiety disorders, and even weakened immune function. By allowing anger to fester, we invite ongoing physical strain, which compounds the emotional damage and disrupts our sense of well-being. Anger also breeds negative thoughts, and these thoughts can become a source of ongoing inner conflict. Stoicism teaches that our thoughts shape our experience of the world, and anger warps this perception. When consumed by anger, we often replay events in our minds, exaggerate wrongs done to us, or imagine future conflicts, intensifying feelings of resentment. This mental fixation creates a loop of negativity that is difficult to escape from. For example, if someone feels slighted at work, they may dwell on the injustice, allowing their anger to grow, which eventually consumes their thoughts and overshadows any potential for rational problem solving. One key aspect of Stoic philosophy is emotional resilience, the ability to remain unaffected by external events beyond our control. However, anger leads us to become overly reactive, causing us to focus on things we cannot change. This reaction creates a cycle of frustration and helplessness, contributing further to internal unrest. For instance, a person who becomes angry at a traffic jam might fixate on the delay, growing increasingly agitated. Yet, in the Stoic view, the traffic is beyond their control, and the anger serves no productive purpose. It only heightens their discomfort and robs them of peace in that moment. Finally, the Stoics understood that happiness and inner peace are the results of living in harmony with nature and accepting life's inevitable challenges. Anger disrupts this harmony by creating unnecessary emotional conflict. Instead of facing difficulties with acceptance and calm, anger transforms them into personal affronts, making it harder to achieve the serenity that Stoicism encourages. Whether it's a minor disagreement or a significant life challenge, anger magnifies the emotional weight of the situation, making it more difficult to let go and move forward with clarity. In conclusion, anger's disruption of inner peace carries a heavy cost in both emotional and physical terms. By succumbing to anger, individuals sacrifice the inner tranquility that Stoicism promotes and subject themselves to ongoing internal turmoil. Number 4. Energy drain. Anger, as described by Stoic philosophy, consumes a tremendous amount of mental and emotional energy. When we become angry, our bodies and minds are put into a state of heightened alert, driven by a surge of adrenaline and other stress hormones. This state, while temporarily stimulating, leaves us exhausted afterward. Our emotional and cognitive resources are drained by the intensity of the emotion, and as a result, we often feel fatigued or distracted long after the moment of anger has passed. This energy drain means that the time and effort spent on being angry could have been used for productive or meaningful activities, making anger not just emotionally costly, but also physically depleting. Consider a typical scenario. You're at work, and a colleague makes a mistake that affects your project. Instead of calmly addressing the issue, you react with anger. You may spend hours fuming about it, replaying the situation in your mind, and thinking of ways to respond or get even. While you're stuck in this cycle, your energy is being diverted away from work that could have been completed or new solutions that could have been found. This focus on anger rather than productivity drains your energy and prevents you from accomplishing tasks that are far more valuable. You're left emotionally drained, and the opportunity to use that energy constructively has been lost. On a larger scale, repeated anger can have a cumulative effect. When people harbor resentment or carry ongoing anger towards someone or something, the energy drain can become chronic. Holding on to grudges or replaying old hurts in your mind keeps you stuck in the past, unable to fully engage in the present. Stoicism encourages living in the moment, being mindful of how we use our time and energy. By indulging in anger, you reduce your capacity to live fully and engage with your current life circumstances. Whether it's a hobby you're passionate about, a personal goal you're working toward, or even time spent with loved ones, the energy you waste on anger could be invested in more fulfilling pursuits. Furthermore, anger diminishes problem-solving ability. When you're consumed by anger, your mind is less open to creative or rational solutions. For example, in personal relationships, when arguments escalate into anger, it becomes harder to focus on resolving the core issues. Instead, Energy is spent defending yourself or attacking the other person, which is counterproductive. In contrast, if that energy were channeled into finding a peaceful, constructive solution, the relationship could benefit and personal growth could occur. Stoics believed that mastering emotions like anger was essential to maximizing personal effectiveness and maintaining harmony with others. Lastly, anger often triggers a ripple effect. The energy drained from anger doesn't just impact the immediate situation. It bleeds into the rest of the day or even week. You may lose focus on future tasks, neglect self-care, or snap at others unnecessarily. Stoicism teaches that time and energy are precious resources that should be carefully managed. Wasting energy on anger means you are missing opportunities for growth, creativity, and connection that could enhance your life. By recognizing this, Stoics encourage us to let go of anger and reclaim that energy for more meaningful purposes. Number 5. Loss of control. In Stoicism, one of the central teachings is a distinction between what we can and cannot control. External events, such as the actions of others, circumstances, or even natural occurrences, fall into the category of things beyond our control. What is within our control, however, is our response to these events, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we react with anger to situations outside our control, we surrender this power over ourselves. This loss of control is detrimental because it goes against the Stoic principle of self-mastery, which is the foundation of living a rational and fulfilling life. Anger often arises from the belief that we can change or influence things that, in reality, are beyond our reach. For example, imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. The initial surge of anger might come from the assumption that the other driver should have behaved differently, but in truth, their actions are out of your control. The Stoic response would be to recognize that while the other driver's behavior is external and uncontrollable, your reaction is entirely within your power. Allowing anger to take over in this situation gives away your autonomy, allowing someone else's actions to dictate your emotions and behavior. A more profound example is in relationships. When we become angry at others for not meeting our expectations, we are often reacting to something we cannot change, the thoughts, actions, or feelings of another person. For instance, if a partner forgets an important date or fails to show support in a difficult time, it's natural to feel hurt or disappointed. However, reacting with anger suggests an expectation that we can control their actions, which is impossible. In Stoic terms, this is a misstep because we are placing our emotional well-being in the hands of another, rather than taking responsibility for our own reactions. Stoicism teaches that true power comes from mastering one's emotions, especially in moments of difficulty. When we let anger take control, we give up our ability to act rationally and in alignment with our values. This is dangerous because anger often leads to poor decision-making, impulsive actions, and words that we later regret. For example, if you lash out at a colleague or loved one in anger, it can damage trust in relationships, making it harder to repair the situation later. By remaining calm and composed, even in frustrating situations, you retain control over yourself and can act with intention rather than emotional impulse. The practice of Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a mindset of emotional resilience by constantly reminding ourselves that we cannot control external events, only our responses to them. Anger disrupts this balance because it is a reaction that typically seeks to change or punish others for things that have already occurred. In essence, by indulging in anger, we attempt to exert control over the uncontrollable, which inevitably leads to frustration and a sense of powerlessness. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius emphasize that letting go of anger is crucial to maintaining control over one's own life and actions. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to anger revolves around the concept of self-control and self-mastery. When we allow anger to take over, we forfeit our power to external events, losing sight of the fact that only our responses are within our control. By recognizing this distinction, we can avoid the emotional turmoil and chaos that anger brings, and instead focus on maintaining our inner peace, rationality, and autonomy. Finally, in Stoicism, Anger is viewed as a self-destructive force that robs us of clarity, peace, and control over our actions. It creates more problems than it solves, damaging our relationships, clouding our judgment, and draining our energy. By practicing the Stoic principle of rational detachment, we can learn to respond to life's challenges calmly and with purpose, instead of letting anger take over. Remember, anger only harms the person who holds on to it. The Stoics believe that by mastering our emotions, we can find inner peace and maintain harmony in our interactions with others. Next time you feel anger rising, take a step back and remind yourself that it's within your power to choose your response. Thanks for watching this video on Ironclad Wisdom. If you found value in these ideas, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Stoic insights and life lessons. Stay grounded and see you next time